The Trump administration has been sending unmarked federal officers into the Pacific Northwest to squash peaceful protests, and now he's threatening to do the same in other cities. Here's what's been going down in Portland.
They are taking people off the street who are doing nothing more than exercising their right to peacefully protest. And every single American should be afraid of this, because this is what authoritarian dictators do.
Yeah. It's unconstitutional, it's authoritarian, and it's a violation of states' rights, which conservatives say they care about. And this morning, Trump threatened to do it in other cities across the country.
New York and Chicago and Philadelphia and Detroit and Baltimore and all of these, Oakland is a mess. We're not going to let this happen in our country. All run by liberal Democrats.
More federal law enforcement to some of these cities?
More federal law enforcement, that I can tell you. In Portland, they've done a fantastic job. They've been there 3 days, and they really have done a fantastic job in a very short period of time. No problem. They grab them, a lot of people in jail. They're leaders. These are anarchists. These are not protesters. People say protesters. These people are anarchists.
They grab them. He said that as a positive. He said that as a positive. There's no evidence that they're anarchists, none. Why are they not being charged with crimes? We don't even know what's happening to these people. They're getting whisked away in rental car vans by police officers who are unmarked. Not even police officers, feds. Feds. This is all we know. It is so mysterious and scary and reminiscent of, I don't want to go this far, but brown shirt type unmarked cops who responded to a different authority, that's what that was, and were able to get away with human rights violations. They are violating people's constitutional rights. These are Fifth Amendment violations, amongst many other things. Cracking down on First Amendment right to peacefully protest, and Trump's now threatening to expand it. This is terrifying and should scare everybody. Military-clad agents reporting to the Department of Homeland Security are patrolling the streets of Portland, Oregon, and throwing protesters into unmarked vehicles. The governor of Oregon has called it a blatant abuse of power, and the city's mayor said it was an attack on our democracy. Demonstrators have reported that officers dressed in camouflage fatigues have ambushed them and thrown them into vans without telling them why they were being arrested or detained. The state's attorney general has filed a lawsuit accusing the federal agents of unlawful tactics and is seeking a restraining order against them. Washington officials have cited the post-September 11th legislation that created the Department of Homeland Security in justifying the deployment of troops to quell protests. That law empowered the agency's secretary to send in federal agents to help the Federal Protective Service when federal property is threatened. States' rights, individual liberty conservatives, using a department that was created to combat terrorists, to crack down on U.S. citizens, overriding the states, overriding local police departments. What happened to the blue lives that you love, Donald Trump? Because these feds, they're not regular cops. They're not police union guys on the streets. They're just your authoritarian lackeys who are doing your bidding to crack down and intimidate protesters from exercising their First Amendment rights. So you're also insulting local police because the police chief and the mayor and the officials in Portland and in Oregon, they don't want this. They've made that clear too. So, look, it's not hyperbolic to worry that these kinds of tactics are laying some sort of groundwork for Trump to, not try to let go of power when he likely loses in November. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. If someone had made that argument before, I would have said that's ludicrous. That's ridiculous. Trump's not Bolsonaro. He's not Modi. He's not actually competent in his authoritarianism. But when you see tactics like this, you have to be concerned. So this is a more legitimate concern than it has been. Don't panic, but be concerned.